Have you ever noticed the strange coincidence in Hollywood? Whenever one of its stars starts talking too much, exposing abuse, talking about cults, rituals, and things like that, that person doesn't end up having a very long life. It's almost as if a curse falls upon them. In this video, you'll see a more recent case of this, which was actually a tip from our dear brother, Panettiere. Big hug, and this video is all thanks to that tip. From now on, you will hear and understand the tragic story of Hayden Panettiere, an American actress who has played several characters that were even very successful here in Brazil.
She appeared in Scream 4, Scream 6, I Love You, Betty Cooper, Bring It On, Remember the Titans, and so on. She was an extremely talented person.
No one could have imagined, not even the best screenwriters in Hollywood, that at 36 years old this young prodigy would lose her life in such a mysterious way. And you're going to learn the details now, along with me.
Since there's no time to waste, grab some yam with sausage right now and let's start our segment, Lords of the World. Lords of the World.
During the 2000s, her face was on billboards, magazine covers, and television screens all over the world. She was the image of Hollywood perfection. A young, talented, charismatic, and seemingly indestructible woman. For millions of fans, Hayden Panettiere was the eternal Clary Bennett, the invincible singer from the series Hero. But away from the cameras, the reality was a nightmare that took years to come to light.
When Hayden decided to break the silence and expose in detail the darkest behind-the-scenes aspects of the entertainment industry, describing abuse, pressure since childhood, and disturbing episodes.
In a revealing memoir, the world stopped to listen. It wasn't just anyone who was speaking. But what no one expected was the outcome of this story. Her sudden and premature death at 36 immediately raised a red flag among fans and theorists. For many, the details of what happened raised inevitable suspicions of a cover-up. Is it the tragic end of a life marked by trauma, or the brutal silencing of someone who knew too much?
To understand this, we need to understand Hayden's story, because her life in the spotlight began very early.
Born in Palisades, New York, she started working as a child model and commercial actress before she was even a year old. At 4 years old, she was already acting in daily American television soap operas. The transition to film was quick. She won over audiences alongside Denzel Washington in the acclaimed Remember the Titans, released in 2000, showing impressive acting maturity for her age. Next, she voiced successful animations like Bug's Life and starred in children's and youth films such as Ice Princess and Racing Stripe.
But the definitive turning point came in 2006 at the age of 17, when she took on the role of the cheerleader Claire Bennett in Heroes. The series became a global science fiction phenomenon.
The slogan, "Save the cheerleader, save the world," became pop culture, and Hayden became one of the most profitable and sought-after stars on the planet. Soon after, Hayden proved she wasn't just a one-role actress. She starred as the sharp-witted Kirby the Hedgehog in the horror film Scream 4, a role she reprised years later in Scream 6,
right after, later in 6.
She also took on the lead role in the drama series Nashville, playing the singer Juliette Burnett. Hayden even sang her own songs, landing tracks on the Billboard charts and receiving Golden Globe nomination. On the outside, she seemed to have it all: beauty, prestige, success, and money. But behind the red carpets, the gears of Hollywood took a heavy toll. To understand what happened at the end of her life, you need to look at what Hayden experienced while growing up under the public eye. In her memoir, released this year in 2026, entitled The Eye as Eastman to Rex Shooting, Hayden decided to expose the industry that created her and destroyed her at the same time. She revealed that, still in her teenage years, around the age of 16 when she was working to exhaustion, members of her own team and industry representatives started giving her pills to control her mood and give her energy to endure the press marathons and recordings. These pills, which she later called gateway drugs, were the beginning of a devastating cycle of chemical dependency and alcoholism. But the abuse didn't stop there. In the pages of the book and in a promotional interview, Hayden described the abusive dynamics of the environment in which she grew up. She detailed how executives and influential figures in the industry deliberately used their positions deliberately against vulnerable young actresses. Hayden reported traumatizing encounters, including an episode in which a renowned director and actor, an Oscar winner, exposed himself inappropriately. According to her, she was also put in embarrassing and abusive situations by other big names in the industry. She also addressed the suffocating pressure from tabloids and her own family environment, which was managed for years by her own mother. The professional relationship became toxic and exhausting. Hayden exposed how her childhood was stolen, combined with the hypersexualization by the media when she was still underage, taking a toll on her mental health. The actress faced severe postpartum depression after the birth of her daughter in 2014, which intensified her addiction to alcohol and opioids. In the following years, she went through a troubled relationship marked by episodes of domestic violence. In 2023, she suffered another devastating blow: the sudden loss of her younger brother, Jensen Panettiere, at just 28 years old. Even after going through rehab clinics and stepping away from Hollywood to recover, Hayden seemed determined to rebuild her life and set the record straight through her published allegation.
In mid-2026, Hayden was about to turn 37 and said in recent interviews that she felt ready to start over,
having closed old doors and left the darkness behind. But on Sunday, August 16, 2026, the month of sorrow, the world was shaken by the news. Hayden Panettiere was found dead in an apartment in the city of Greenville, in South Carolina. The circumstances of the incident raised questions among the public. At 1:51 p.m. that Sunday, emergency services received a 911 call reporting an unconscious woman in cardiac arrest. When they arrived at the scene, the paramedics attempted resuscitation maneuvers for a long period, but death was declared at 2:32 p.m. Police reports revealed 4 points that drew attention. The first, presence at the scene. Hayden's ex-boyfriend, Brian Rickson, with whom she had a relationship marked by reports of abuse, and his brother were in the apartment at the time and were the ones who called 911. The second point, the suspicious behavior. The official report noted that Brian did not show any emotional reactions during the rescue procedures, only becoming emotional at the exact moment when the death was formally declared. The third point, lack of apparent trauma. The police and the medical examiner's office reported that the body showed no visible signs of trauma or clear signs of violence, which led the police to initially declare the absence of direct evidence of a crime. The fourth point, the preliminary cause was inconclusive. While the leaked emergency audio mentioned the hypothesis of an overdose followed by cardiac arrest, the official cause of death remained under investigation pending toxicology tests. Putting all these facts together, the news of the death of a 36-year-old actress, which happened shortly after the release of a book with serious accusations against powerful figures,
has sparked waves of speculation on the internet.
For a considerable portion of the public and pop culture analysts, the timing of the tragedy seems strange. Hayden had mentioned names, behaviors, and patterns of abuse in an industry historically known for protecting its biggest figures. Social networks and forums were flooded with theories that the tragedy was actually a covert silencing meant to bury new developments from her revelations, because that's exactly what happened. When you're going to report something really big, you don't just come out and tell the whole truth right away. You can't say everything at once. You release a little and see the reaction, the consequences of that. If it gets attention, then the person comes out with the real bombshell. Maybe that was exactly Heidi Pennington's strategy. Unfortunately for her, the people who run the world already know this tactic very well. And if these conspiracy theories are correct, that might be what happened. And then you have a comparison with other great artists who passed away in exactly the same way. Whitney Houston also started talking about the industry and how she was harmed by it. She even talked about seeing shadows chasing her inside her house. Michael Jackson also spoke openly against this industry and said that the artist they claimed was broken would rise up and expose all of them. He started what would be his last tour precisely with that goal. But there was also a premature death that still raises doubts to this day. Anyway, it's hard these days even to talk about these things. So, on the other hand, we have the official version.
Investigators and analysts, doctors,
highlight the actress's history of poor health, the traumas from the premature loss of her brother due to heart complications, and her long battle against chemical dependency. They see this as the tragic result of wounds accumulated over a lifetime of exploitation. They see this as the real reason for this final outcome. Anyway, whether it was the tragic result of wounds accumulated over a lifetime of exploitation or an outcome with unanswered questions, the passing of Hayden Bennett symbolizes a sad assessment of the cost of fame in Hollywood. Hayden started as the invincible girl in fiction, but ended up showing that in the real world, the vulnerability of young artists exposed to the industry is devastating. It remains to be seen whether the reports and investigations will bring definitive answers to the public, or if Hayden Bennett will become just another of the many legends swallowed up by show business secrecy. This video ends here. I hope you enjoyed it and above all understood it. If you did, please share it. Show it to more people. There's no point in doing this work if people don't wake up. And I count on your help for that. If you want to see the story of another great artist here, leave it in the comments. I'll make sure to do it. God bless you, my brothers. Take care. And don't forget to leave a like and a comment to support, even if it's just an emoji. May God be with each of you. Take care, and I'm out.